Sky News Real Estate. Smart investing.
Now, Dominique, through your legal background, you found a way of finding distressed properties. Do you want to tell me a bit more about it and what actually is distressed?
Well, I define distressed properties as any property where there's a sale and there's a motivated vendor who has to meet the market. And all of those ones, the holy grail of properties, you hear people say, oh, I got a mortgagee sale or bankruptcy, liquidation, deceased estate, all of those have to hit a legal radar long before they ever come out the other end through the system. So if you know the law, and with the age of the internet, if you can identify when these first hit that legal radar, there's a lot more you can do before it even comes on the market.
So, Dominique, how do you see the system at the moment and how they deal with and market distressed properties?
Well, at first instance, they're not allowed to, by law, have a fire sale. So they can't say, come one, come all. So often you don't even know.
So this is where there's a bank repossessing it. So they
Yes.
can't sell it to their mate for $5 or anything.
That's exactly right. They have to do in law what a reasonable seller would do. And banks aren't in the business of selling houses. They're in the business of lending money. So the whole system is a headache for them to take it through courts for a year to get it on market. They would rather do a deal quickly. And when you can identify what's coming through the system well in advance and you know what to do, you can often have a win-win all round.
So being a lawyer and having your legal background, you've got a different way of identifying them than, I guess, the classic person out there, haven't you? Tell us about that.
Well, that's the ability to identify them off-market when it first hits the legal system. And there's a way then, once you know the owner's in trouble, that you can do a deal off-market to help the owner, and as well, it will help the bank or the whole distress situation go away.
So, Dominique, at what stage can people get involved to try and get these distressed properties?
At any time. At the first sign of distress, I'm sure the seller or the owner would be really grateful, right through to the end. So it's not a sale until the hammer falls, and at any time up until then, you've got the legal right to acquire the property. Even if the bank has changed the locks, if the owner can pay the bank out the debt, they have to release that property.
Now, do you know what the state of distressed property is in Australia? Because sometimes, obviously, with the media, they'll take one swing from one way to another and saying, oh, the world's going to come to an end as soon as interest rates go up. How bad is it now, and how bad could it be in the future?
I think it has reached a tipping point right now because the market is kind of at its usual cycle and it's coming off that heated top end, and at the same time we've got a whole lot of converging factors. So we've got the Royal Commission, we've got responsible lending where it's a whole lot harder to get a loan, and we've got that pressure on interest-only loans. So there for 5 years, and I think the Reserve Bank realises now that there are a whole lot of loans. I read the other day, $500 to $600 billion worth of interest-only loans due to come off interest-only in the next 4 years. So those people are going to have to refinance, and they'll find it harder to refinance at interest-only rates, and they'll have to start paying down principal and interest, and they can't afford that either. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and that's going to bring a whole lot of distress into the market.
Now, Dominique, obviously for some people, they want to play the short game, they're new to the market, they need to try and come in and turn, I guess, turn some money fairly quickly. Are there lots of opportunities for savvy investors?
Yes, if you're buying under market, you're making your money when you buy in any market, and that's the way to do it if you're wanting a quick turnaround and a quick profit.
Wonderful. Sounds good. Good subject.